begins our 12 days of giving. Welcome to day 1. This live series is an intention to support you in emotional, spiritual, physical, energetic, all the ways over this holiday season and also the darkest time of year. Last year I did I think it was 12 days of light, because right now we are in the cycle of the earth, if you're in the northern hemisphere, where these are the darkest days of the year. So this time of year is a paradox because there is a natural tendency for humans to want to go within. Maybe you feel lower energy. And the reason why it's a paradox is because this is also the time of Christmas, of New Year's, where there's a lot of celebration that's happening, but innately you might not be feeling that as much. And it's beautiful though, because Christmas is like a holiday that's meant to bring light, right? People light up their Christmas trees and they light up their homes, and you go to different fairs and you go into different shops and there's all these lights. And in a way, it's like how modern day decided to celebrate solstice. So on the 21st of December is winter solstice, and that's the officially it's the darkest day of the year. So it's really normal to want to feel like hibernating, right? And so someone writes, it is a hard time of year for past losses. How to bump the energy? This is a beautiful question. Thank you so much for asking. So also know that you are free and welcome to ask any questions inside this live if you are here live. And then if you're catching the replay, just share a comment or a question on this video, and then in tomorrow's live, as well as I'll respond to your comment or question, but in tomorrow's live I can also address it if it's a longer explanation. So in terms of this question around it being a hard time of year for past losses, so yeah, actually when I created my holiday bundle, I had this in mind because for some people, Christmas is like the best time of year. They love it so much, especially if you have children, because you see the joy on their faces. However, what can also come up is because there's this pressure of materialism, some people find the holidays really stressful, especially if finances can be a challenge, especially if you've had losses in the past, especially if you've gone through a breakup recently or someone you love has died, because usually Christmas time is a family time. Similarly, if you celebrate Hanukkah, it's a family time. So these, and even Kwanzaa, like all of these holidays around bringing in more light during this time of year is meant to specifically mitigate, help, ameliorate, alleviate those feelings of challenge, stress, pain, emotional pain, and the natural darkness that we might feel, because in this time of hibernation on the northern hemisphere of the earth, we're actually meant to go within. This is a reality of duality. We're actually not meant to always feel joy, happiness, cheer, love all the time, 24/7. It's actually impossible to feel that because of the reality you're in. So the first step to boost your energy, if you are feeling down because of, you don't even know why, you're just feeling down, or because you're thinking of past losses with your, someone that you may have loved that you lost, or if the holiday time just happens to be stressful, maybe there's some challenges in your family dynamics, and then holidays always remind you of it, right? And so if that's the case, the first step is full acceptance and full compassion for yourself and others. When we accept something and we don't resist it, it like releases the chokehold on us. When we're resisting something and we don't want it and we make it wrong and we create all these stories about it and why it's bad, and all of that is a siphon of energy. It sinks our energy. It makes us feel not good enough. It brings up shame and guilt. And so the way to clear that is to remember. So one of the pillars of self-compassion is remembering that every human, it's part of the human experience to experience challenge and suffering and pain. So it's okay, you're normal, there's nothing wrong with you. So that first step in that self-compassion process is that acceptance piece. Like, it's okay, I feel this way. Remembering that it's transient, it's going to pass, it's not here forever. And then regarding loss, perhaps there is some processing around grief, around sadness, and the best way to process emotions, or one way, I should say, there's actually many ways, but one way to process emotions that could be really challenging is to feel them. You know, you might not want to do that. You might think like, no, I don't want to feel this. It feels wrong. It feels like, what, this is Christmas time. I'm supposed to feel really happy and cheerful. And everyone talks about holiday cheer, but you know what? You might be feeling like the Grinch. You might be feeling bah humbug. I don't want to feel all joyful. That's okay. Because at the same time that Christmas and all this holiday cheer is happening, this is also the darkest days of the year. This is the time for you to do your shadow work. This is the time for you to go into the shadow. This is a time for you to hibernate and be more introverted. So if you're feeling that way, it's okay. It's normal. Give yourself time and space to process. Maybe you need to have a really good cry. And if you can't activate that crying, maybe you watch a movie. You do something that can help you access this pain. Maybe you even have some type of session, because when we go into those emotions, sometimes it's just being witnessed helps you to release the floodgates and cry and let go of the sadness and the hurt and the pain. And so Ramel says, thank you, much appreciated words. Yeah, so just feel it. No, it's normal. And then the last piece is self-love. And what I invite you to do with self-love, it doesn't necessarily mean like bubble baths, but it's what can you do for yourself that's an act of love. Maybe a radical act of self-love for you is saying no to something. Or maybe it is to go and spend time with people you love and celebrate the life and what is flourishing now, versus continuing to feel that sadness about what was lost. And loss is a part of life. Sadness is a part of life. And it's what we make it mean and how much energy we give it. Because remember, what we focus on expands. There is a time and place for mourning. Absolutely, you must mourn everything you lose, whether it's relationships ending or people dying or just the loss of a job or the loss of a chapter of your life. And it's normal, it's okay. Allow yourself to feel, to mourn, but then at some point, remember you have a whole life ahead of you. You have people right now in your life who love you, who want to spend time with you. And focus your energy there. Focus your energy on what it is you do want to celebrate. And so allow yourself to be in this paradox of this time of year. Right? The darkest days, going into the shadow, going into the underworld. Hi, Cecilia. So nice to see you. And so allow yourself that time and allowance. Sometimes people think, oh, I have to be so happy and cheerful because of the time of year that it is. No, you don't. Allow yourself to be as you are and also celebrate. Also allow the joy in. Also, even if you don't agree with the holiday and you don't agree with the materialism of the holiday, that's totally fine. And also, if you love it, be unapologetic about it. So whatever you're authentically feeling, allow yourself during this time of year. Because that light from Christmas and all the lights from the trees and all those lights and all that is meant to bring light to these dark times where it can be really challenging. And there's actually a natural process on Earth that's happening during winter solstice, which is when there is that renewal time. So things can't always be blooming. There must be death. There must be death in order for new life to emerge. So death is a natural part of the cycle of life. And right now, if you notice your energy is lower or things are challenging, it's actually the perfect time of year for that to be happening. So allow both. Allow yourself to experience the joy that you feel because it's actually there and you see something beautiful and it makes you smile. And, you know, when you give, I'm going to talk about giving as well in some of the other days. Today is specifically dedicated to the paradox of the moment right now. And then also allow yourself to be with your tender heart, to be gentle with yourself, to be like, okay, this is what's happening. This is what I'm feeling. And the more you allow it and the more you feel it and the less you resist it, the more it can just move through you. Because all emotions are energy in motion. They just get stuck when we don't want to look at them, when we don't want to face them, when we're avoiding a part of ourselves or an aspect of ourselves, or maybe there's a big challenge in your life, or like someone shared in the comments, like there's this loss, this pain, and by choosing not to look at it, you actually perpetuate it. You give it more energy, it becomes stickier and it grows, and it becomes like this tumor. So the best way to process, clear any of the emotions that you might be feeling that are not the love, light, joy, and happiness, process, feel, allow, be compassionate, forgive yourself, forgive others. And that's why I actually created my holiday bundle, because it's all of these. These are superpowers. These are spiritual superpowers to be able to accept what is when it's like horrible and challenging and you hate it and you can't stand it and you're angry, to be able to accept that. Wow, that's such self-compassion, and that is such mastery. You will feel everything. You are a human. We exist on a spectrum, such as all of the emotions are on a spectrum too. And you're here to have the full depth of the human experience. And the other fascinating paradox is the more you allow yourself to feel your pain, the more you can feel that love, that joy, that excitement. So to allow that pendulum to swing even higher in the direction of that bliss, that joy, that ecstasy, you better believe that you must be able to hold your deepest sorrows, your deepest pains. And the more you can be with both, the more you can hold in life. The more relationships you can hold, the more money you can hold, the more success you can hold. That's another paradox of this reality. It's not just love and light. This is like a really strong spiritual bypass. On some dimension and plane, yes, we came from the realms of love and light, absolutely. But then we chose to incarnate here in this duality reality, this polarizing reality. And so the more you can accept that, even you are a paradox. You are everything. You are light, you are darkness. Just as you have your light, you have your shadow. Just as you feel joy, you are meant to feel pain, and there's nothing wrong with it. So stop making yourself wrong. Stop trying to avoid what's uncomfortable. Stop avoiding the loss, the pain, and just allow yourself to feel it all. I mean, for me, the times that I laugh the most is when I'm literally crying and then laughing at the same time. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm crazy. But it's like, no, actually, I'm living to the fullest. I'm most embodied. I'm feeling everything. That is mastery. You do not want to numb. And I even think of like all of these anti-anxiety medications and antidepressants and people who medicate with alcohol and substances, and basically you want to feel something different than you actually feel, or you want to numb in some way. All of that bypassing, and it's all taking you out of your power. You are here to experience the trials, the ups and downs of life, the paradox of Christmas time, the paradox of the winter solstice. Yes, go into both, be both, allow others in their bothness of good and challenge, of light and dark, of sorrow and sadness. Well, this is the same. Sorrow and sadness, joy and cheer. And if you do find this time of year really challenging, that's okay. There's so much support for you, like my holiday bundle, like just having a session where you give yourself love, or you allow yourself to release trapped emotions. Like there's so much support for you in this world. Direct your energy wisely. Do not wallow. Do not be a victim. It's okay. It is what it is. And you're going to accept it. You're going to feel it all. And now what are you going to do with that reclaimed power? How are you going to use your energy? Use it wisely. And so I'm so excited to be here with you for these 12 days of giving. Just felt called to end the last 12 days of the year over the winter solstice, over Christmas, over this really magical time to support you in both. To like live the highs, like your ultimate life, and then at the same time, like be with the humanity that we are. Like, wow, what a gift. What a gift. And so I love you. Thank you for being here. Share your comments, your questions. You can also DM me as you feel called. I am here for you. This is a time for giving, and it feels so good to give. And so I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.